in this little ville in New Hampshire. It has a ceremony aspect to it, and it's quick. People come into Dixville Notch, they vote. The population there, according to the 2010 census, was 12 people. So they come in. What's interesting is this was actually a little troika. There are 3 little villages up there in the northern part of New Hampshire that always did this early. Not like since the 1800s. This is since the 1900s. I think 1948 was the earliest of the 3 towns to start it, but they didn't do it uninterrupted. So Dixville Notch is the place that we start with. They have a dozen people. You got nearby Millsfield. They have like twice as many people, but they don't do it up as much as Dixville Notch does. So we use them first. Predictive? No, not really. New Hampshire as a state is. Let's bring in Chris Cillizza. Chris, let me know with your encyclopedic memory whether or not this is close. You got Chris Cillizza and Chris Cuomo here on CNN to begin CNN's election day coverage. It starts out with this really lovely tradition of going up and remember, small places matter. This is a place that began as accommodating the votes at midnight for railroad workers. And it's a beautiful tradition. We'll be watching it here. New Hampshire has voted with the winner of the popular vote like almost every time, right?
Yep, it's a pretty remarkable bellwether. You're right, 12 votes in any state, Chris, don't tell us all.
No, not Notch. The state overall has voted with the popular vote winner. They voted with Clinton by like 0.37. I mean, she lost the election, but she won the popular vote.
That's right. Extremely close in 2016. It is a state that is considered, broadly speaking, a swing state, I think, in 2020, although I think most people, myself included, would be surprised if Joe Biden doesn't wind up winning. I will tell you,
ballots are going in.
I have been to exactly where they are. That guy has the most New England sweater ever. As a guy from Connecticut, the reindeer, that sweater, my dad had one of those. I have been there. We used to vacation up there, and I've been right to where they're casting the votes. It's a really cool tradition.
I like it. And again, you know, when I was, you do the research every 4 years, right? We always look into this. And, well, they're the smallest. Yeah, and they do it up more than Millsfield. There's a third place that usually does it also. They're not doing it this year because of COVID. They wanted to keep it. They had a bigger population, too. They had 41 people. So they were a little bit more conscientious. So they're putting the votes in right now. Once they all get in, then we're going to hear it. So let's bring in Gloria Borger also. Thank you for rolling off from Anderson to us to begin this. This is big. Neither of us, for all the experience, forget about Dixville Notch. The idea that we have 100 million votes in already. Borger, with your experience, Cillizza with that encyclopedic memory, me, who wears the same thing every night. Nobody has ever seen anything like what we're experiencing right now in terms of the activism of our democracy. And I love that we're starting with this ceremony. But Gloria, to you, as we start here with the unofficial start of Election Day, the first votes cast in the country, midnight, they'll be reading them in a few minutes, and when they do, we'll give you that whole part of it. What does it mean that we've had more voter activism already than you or I have ever seen before?
Well, first of all, I think it's remarkable in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of an economic crisis, in the middle of a country that's been rocked by race relations issues, that so many Americans have decided that they needed to vote and that they ought to vote. And maybe one thing we have learned from this pandemic is that the secretaries of state made it easier for people to vote because they could do it from home, they could do it by absentee ballot, and that